This paperwork doesn't mean anything. You are clearly in violation of the covenants, and we have the complaints to prove it.
Ma'am.
Blue and red lights splashed across my living room walls while the coffee maker hissed like a mad cat. Cold air slid under the front door, and I could smell fresh asphalt from the overnight street patch as a patrol car idled outside. It was 4:27 a.m. on April 5th when the knock came. The officer cleared his throat and said a neighbor reported trespassing. On my own porch, I stepped into the night in slippers, blinking at the flashing lights, hearing sprinklers click like tiny metronomes. Across the street, Karen, the HOA president with the clipboard and the eternal frown, watched from behind a curtain. That was the first shot, not a warning. A declaration. They wanted to show us they got one. Later, the rally began at City Hall, a hard echo box with the smell of floor wax and old microphones. HOA stormed the council hall with 15 complaints. Then I pulled the escrow file. That sentence lived in my head like a drumbeat. They read accusations in a chorus: grass too long by 1 inch, mailbox paint non-compliant taupe, illegal shed roof angle, a welcome mat that said, "Go away" in a playful font. I stood with my hands behind my back and heard my name hit the speaker again and again like a mallet. First, I tried to be reasonable. I emailed, I called. I showed up at the board meeting on May 3rd, 2024, at exactly 7:00 p.m., armed with a smile and a plate of store cookies. The room went silent, like I'd brought a rattlesnake. Karen tapped her pen and stared over my shoulder, like I was the smudge on a window. A neighbor whispered, "We can't get on her bad side." Another slid me a note that said, "Pay the fine. $250 for the mailbox, $380 for the shed." I asked for the rule dates. The board answered with stares and a gavel. Appeal denied. Cookies uneaten. That night, I decided my line in the sand was straight and dark. I wouldn't shout. I wouldn't break anything. I promised myself I would use proper channels only. Then I got to work. I opened a fresh binder, printed every notice, and built a receipts montage. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. I made a labeled list. Timeline item 1, April 5th, at 4:27 a.m., false trespass call. Timeline item 2, May 3 at 9:00 p.m., post-meeting threat voicemail. Timeline item 3, May 10th at 6:15 a.m., anonymous complaint about my recycling bin, even though it was empty. The pattern was a parade, and there's a plain law line that matters here. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. But the twist wasn't the timeline. It was older, quieter, buried in paperwork. I requested public records from the title company that handled my closing. A week later, at the county records window, the clerk slid a stack across the counter and said, "Good luck." The file landed with 63 pages. Insurance certificates, budgets, minutes, covenants, and one glorious page that sparkled like the sun. An architectural variance for my exact shed roof angle, approved in 2019, before I bought the place. It sat inside the escrow disclosures, the same escrow package the HOA had certified as complete when I closed. My house's escrow file was a tiny time capsule that said, "You're fine," and they knew it. I walked into the next council session calm as a librarian returning late books. Karen marched in with a posse and a poster board that read, "Community Standards." When public comment opened, I stepped to the mic and handed the clerk my binder. The projector lit up. First slide, timeline item 1, April 5th at 4:27 a.m., false trespass call. Second slide, the rule change, dates that mysteriously jumped from 2020 to 2024 without recorded notice. Third slide, that escrow variance, page 26, the signature skating across it like a rollerblade. The room inhaled. I said the fines are based on a rule that didn't exist when I closed, and your signature certified that my disclosures were complete, lawful, simple, no drama. Just facts. The chamber broke. Phones came up. Neighbors filmed. Someone whispered, "This is better than cable." A teenager snorted laughing when the spreadsheet of complaint timestamps lined up with Karen's personal Ring camera motion alerts. Comment bubbles floated up on my live stream like popcorn. One read so her own approval proves she's wrong. Another said, "I want popcorn." Even the council chair covered a smile when an older neighbor, the guy who walks 3 tiny dogs, said into the mic, "I've lived here 30 years and we've never found a doormat." Behind me, Karen's face went the color of undercooked chicken. She tried to speak and found no words. Her clipboard looked heavier by the second. Then the authority flip landed like a gavel. The city code inspector asked for the mic and said the mailbox color was compliant under the 2018 palette, which was the palette on file when I purchased, not the 2024 secret palette nobody approved. The officer from April 5th spoke up too and said the trespass call was unfounded and flagged. The council attorney, who had been quiet until then, leaned forward and said for the record, "Retroactive enforcement is not valid here, and the board's notice procedures appear deficient." On the screen, a small slide in the corner read, again in plain words, "Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted." The murmurs turned into the soft kind of laughter that stings. After that, the aftermath felt like rain after dust. The board voted to rescind my fines, reimburse me for certified mail costs, and suspend new enforcement for 30 days while they fixed their procedures. Karen stepped down as president and kept her seat warm in the back row, silent, her clipboard sleeping. 2 neighbors brought over brownies at 8:30 p.m. that night and said, "Sorry, we were scared." I told them we're okay. The street was quiet. The asphalt smell faded. My doormat stayed. The shed roof still hugged the angle printed in that old variance. Peace is not loud. It's the sound of sprinklers and a coffee maker and a neighborhood remembering it's a neighborhood. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.